This is MJ. I love Star Wars, and right now I want to talk about Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7, Episode 5. We get the return of Ahsoka Tano. She's down on level 1313. She meets Rafa and Trace Martez, and they have some hijinks, sort of. Stuff with a droid. Anyway, I want to go ahead and do something a little bit different this time. I'm going to give my overall impression of the episode, which is overall positive. It's nice seeing Ahsoka back. It's nice hearing Ashley Eckstein. She has no problem picking up on her performance of Ahsoka. And besides that, I enjoyed the episode overall, although I was a little bit surprised at how it went overall. I'm not exactly sure what this all means. The way it ended, it could be the end of her and Trace and Rafa knowing each other, or it could just be the first leg of their journey together. And it's a little hard to tell. And I'm okay with that. It's just, I'm okay with that. I just am curious to see where exactly Ahsoka goes from here. But there are some positive things in her being thrown into 1313 and working with the common folk. One good, interesting thing that happens is that Ahsoka learns that the Jedi are seen as a bit of a letdown. That despite all their power, what they seem to do is start wars and take control of things up on the surface or top side, as they call it. And, that's a problem, basically, which I can agree with that. And, what's her name? Trace kind of laments that the Jedi aren't doing more for people. I'm not exactly sure what more she wants the Jedi to be doing, especially because, technically the Jedi are a religious sect of warrior monks, and I don't know if that means they're supposed to solve everyone's problems in the galaxy. Although, as a religious person myself, I can see the perspective that, hey, if we all followed the tenets of, a religion seriously, and everybody, did unto others as they would have others do unto them. And furthermore, if people didn't do unto others that which is hateful to them, how much of a better place would the world be? I can see that perspective. But that idea, that concept, requires everyone to live morally just lives, not just the, leaders of a certain religion. Although I guess technically in our understanding of the Force as we know it, and I don't know much about the Church of the Jedi, the Jedi are the only real practitioners of Jedi Force, I guess, connection. And I don't mean connection as in the Force is flowing through you so you can, lift a ton of rocks. I mean connection flows through you of the Force so that you can, be calm and still your mind and, meditate and, be selfless and things like that, which I'm sure the Jedi think those things come from their connection to the Force. But I don't know for sure. Like I said, I don't know enough about the Church of the Force to say definitively. Anyway, those were some tangents. I'm going to still give the episode an overall review. If I had to give it a number, I'd give it like a 3.5 out of 5. Because, like I said, I liked elements in it, but I didn't necessarily like other stuff. I'm going to try to be balanced and give, for every positive, I'll give a negative or vice versa. So, I'm going to go ahead and say that Ahsoka hearing about the Jedi kind of failing people was a positive thing. I'm going to say I really liked the moment where Ahsoka said she learned to fight from her older brother. And of course she means Anakin. Well, I'm pretty sure she means Anakin. And there's a great little moment where her face twinges with pain or... what's the other emotion you call it? Not remorse, but anyway, you can tell she's pained by the fact that she's no longer with Anakin and that, she learned something from him and that, they were like brother and sister. And she loved him, I'm sure, and now they're apart because of, everything that's happened. And so those are two positives. I'll go ahead and give two negatives and then we'll see what else I have. For some reason, I didn't like the Space Latinas. If you didn't know, my name is Munoz. Similar to Martez. Martez sounds like a Martinez, but they took out the in. And, the ladies were brown and Rafa had a little bit of an accent. So I feel like they were supposed to be, probably space Puerto Ricans, living in space Brooklyn or the Bronx. I don't know. Anyway, and it's funny, all these times that Star Wars has used other people's ethnic heritages, which I don't have a super strong tie to, my people who are unrelated to me, as far as I've never met them and lived, decades, if not hundreds of years before me in different places far off that I've never visited. I don't have much of a connection to them, go figure. But to hear that being utilized here, I don't know, something about it rubbed me the wrong way. So, maybe I always thought it was silly that people were mad about the Nemoidians. They're like, hey, that's space racist, or that's racist, or Lucas would do that. And I always thought, like, well, there need to be different ethnicities, so what if they're pulling from, making them sound like people from different ethnicities around the world? That's not a problem. I didn't like it. But maybe because I didn't like these characters. Another negative thing is, I felt like in some points the writing was a little juvenile. Like, one instance I can think of very strongly, Trace is saying, hey, Ahsoka, where is this battle droid? And Ahsoka, it, like, appears on screen, and it's, like, running towards them, and you could hear it, and you would think she would have looked over, and then Ahsoka says, oh, it's right on top of us. And, I don't know. That just felt weird to me, like, we're not dumb, I know this is a kid's show, but, you don't write it like that, or you haven't written like that in the past, so don't do it now. Alright, so I just went back to the episode to grab a image or two to make the thumbnail and whatnot, and give you something to look at if you're checking this out on YouTube. And man, you know what? I watched it muted, and the Rafa, like her reaction to Ahsoka, was super cartoony, and it made me think. So I'm gonna be a little salty here. If you're trying to be woke and then you're turning women of color into cartoon characters in your cartoon where all your cartoon characters are three-dimensional, you're doing it wrong. That's a little insulting. And I don't know. Maybe it's hard to find the line between having someone be like sassy and fun and having them look like an idiot. Because honestly, the two of them, Rafa and Trace, look kind of like idiots in the episode, thinking back on it. And even at the end, there was like this cutesy little thing where she's like, oh, I told you this job was going to be whatever. And, they do some stuff like that with Han. But Han was never my favorite, even though he was a little bit of a whiner and stuff at first. Luke's always had my heart. So, I don't know. Maybe I just like serious characters and, silly characters not so much. But then again, I enjoy Jar Jar. So, especially like for what he means in the story. And if you want, we can have a discussion about that later. But yeah, kind of ending on a sour note. But whether or not Ahsoka gets away from these characters, well, this is the thing that hit me. Like, you're really, because in this one shot, Rafa was in the background, Trace was behind her Rafa was in the foreground, Trace and Ahsoka were in the background, but Trace was in front of Ahsoka, and I thought, you're really telling me that you only have 8 episodes left to give me time with Ahsoka Tano, one of the greatest Star Wars characters ever, and you're putting these clowns in front of her, and literally blocking her, putting her in a tiny little frame of the screen, so that I don't get to spend that much time with this character? Like, that's ridiculous. That's not what I'm here for. So, anyway, I don't know. End of saltiness. Sorry. Let me know what you thought about the episode, about the characters, about my little rant there at the end. Do I have a point, or am I crazy? Did you get a similar feeling, impression, whatever? I'd like to know. Anyway, MJ Loves Star Wars can be found with the Swing Through Comics on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and mjmunoz.com/stc. Check out mjmunoz.com for more of my work. I have multiple podcasts and original works of fiction there. I'm an aspiring author who will gladly accept your financial support through coffee. I don't know why I can't say that. Or you can buy merch from my Redbubble store. I have Star Wars and non-Star Wars merch there. Relevant links are in the show notes. If you had a good time, like and share this. Please subscribe to help me grow. Comment to tell me I'm wrong, help me improve, or just talk Star Wars with me. And remember, in balance lies power to hear the dark and walk in light. And go ahead and check out the feeds here if you're on YouTube. There should be links to like every Star Wars thing I'm doing, the Star Wars comics, and I don't know what else, but hopefully I remember to put that all in correctly. Let me know if I don't. Thanks.